little thing right here where the air can blow into the bottom, a little tube. And then there's a little screen in here that will separate whatever's burning just from the very bottom, so it sits up a little bit so the air can move through it. And you'll just have something smoldering in here. You use pine needles or grass, burlap into that. And if it's not burning that well, scrape off a piece of honeycomb and put the honeycomb in there with it, and it'll burn easier, kind of like a candle. The honeycomb will melt and wick down onto the burlap and it'll burn a lot better. That's a good tip there. And then try not to start forest fires. I've only started one brush fire. It's kind of been keeping bees, so it's good not to do this. I weed whacked out here, so we shouldn't have it. Yeah, it's probably not going. Good if it's you need to start really nice but not. Having a smoker lid is probably the worst hazard of keeping bees on the coast. It's so dry here. I think in like Santa Barbara County or something, beekeepers aren't like, you have to be registered with the fire department or something to use a smoker. It's pretty ridiculous.
How do you put it out when you're done?
I put it out when I'm done just by stuffing some green leaves through this and through this. That way it doesn't go out right away, but it will smother out after about 10 minutes.
Well, I'm so dry all around me.
You'll want to weed whack.
Oh, we do?
Yeah.
Good.
You just want to be careful. Don't do it when it's super windy, you know.
Yeah.
Just use common sense and you'll have a problem. The only time I had a problem was because I had 2 bee yards about a quarter mile apart. I lit the smoker at one, and then I went to the other one. I had the smoker with me, but I guess a spark had come out or something, and I lit the other one while I was away. So by the time I drove back, the flames were already like 50 square feet, so there wasn't anything I could do. But it wasn't that big of a deal. I have insurance, so. Yeah. So this time all the bees are coming out. Either it's too full or there's something else wrong. It might just be too full of bees. Maybe we'll pop the lid. I'll put on my smoker and we'll pop the lid and see what the problem is. It's just kind of a matter of not opening the hive that there's nothing wrong with, and then the hive is open.
Oh, yeah. Let's start from the back.
Yeah.
So they're bigger in general, is that right?
Yeah, they're bigger in general, and they can be any color. Sometimes they're dark. A lot of mine are dark because I have dark bees.
So that is a drone right there?
Yeah, that's a drone.
Okay.
That's probably a pure VSH drone. 100% VSH drone. Because the drones are not a result of mating. The drones are just from the queen. They're 100% of whatever.
So the rest of the
see, look at this. See how it has shriveled wings?
Yeah.
Shriveled wings is a symptom of varroa mite. So I'm going to have to treat my hive.
Oh, okay.
So
if you treat one, you treat them all?
Yeah, I'll probably treat them all. So it's not the end of the world if you see this, but
what's that?
it just shows that it's getting out of hand. Yeah, it's just some propolis that they put on the hive.
Okay. You drank that? So what have you got?
This is the apple guard. This is how I get it. When you guys order it, it'll come in like a little individual dose. It'll be in its like own little plastic, thermoform plastic tray that it's in, and you just put the tray in there. For me, I dose it myself because it's cheaper when you buy it in the tub. But you have to have a special like applicator number or something to do that.
Okay.
It's kind of a hassle. I have to go to the ad commission. You're supposed to stir it first.
Is it dangerous to us or to children if they touch it?
No, it's only dangerous if you have an allergy to thymol. But I mean, it's in an herb already, so.
Oh, now
I've never heard of anybody having an
Oh, it
allergy.
smells good.
Yeah, it smells like you're smoking.
So I have thyme in my yard. Is that helpful for the bees?
No. This is like pure thyme crystals dissolved in like a gelatin or something.
Okay.
So.
Heavy concentrate.
Yeah, it's pretty heavy. And it just goes on these little. They're cardboard, and then it's just some foil on the top. I don't know what the point is. It could go on anything.
In charge of.
Yeah. Probably maybe a little bit more than that. It says it's supposed to be a 50-gram dose, but I just eyeball it. If you put too much, it'll kill the brood. But if there's mice in the brood anyway, it's worth it to kill the brood. It's always bad to kill the brood because that'll make the bees dwindle in about a month. But if there's mice in it anyway, it's not going to be the end of the world.
And then do the bees walk on that, and then they, or what does it do?
The bees will be irritated by it, and they'll clean it out. So they'll walk in it, they will grab it, and they'll pull it out of the hive and drop it who knows where. And it gets everywhere in the hive in the process. And it helps. I mean, it's organic, so it's not going to kill like 99.9% of the mice. I think on the label it says it kills somewhere between 70 and 93% of the mice, which isn't enough. It's not enough because the mice are growing exponentially. So if you kill only 70% of them, in 21 days you'll be back up to the number you were at. So it's better if you kill a lot of them. But since these bees are partially resistant anyway, it's not that big of a deal. The old chemicals that people used when we first got the mites, they were synthetic, they're a regular pyrethroid, synthetic pyrethroids. And so those killed 99.9% of the mites. But the other problem was that when you kill 99.9% of the mites, in about 2 years, all your mites will be resistant to it because it's easy for the mites to get resistant to things like that since it killed so many. And so now that doesn't kill mice anymore. And also, it would contaminate all the honeycomb because it's dissolved in honeycomb. It's dissolved in wax. So it's a big problem. And then, and then all the big commercial beekeepers, since it stopped working, they went out and bought the same, it was the same chemical, but it was more concentrated for other purposes, for like doing tank mixes and stuff for other crops. And they would dip sticks in it, little wooden like popsicle sticks. And they would stick like 6 or 7 sticks down in between the frames, and that's how they would dose them. And they could kill mice that way, since it was such a stronger dose. And then their frames were so contaminated with this chemical that it was actually bad for the bees. And the bees would they would lose fertility, so the drones would not be fertile, and so they would have problems with queens mating. And not to mention the problems with what would happen if consumers found out that that's what is in honey when you buy it at the grocery store. So.
How long will you leave
Better
that?
watch out for that.
How long will you leave that?
The bees will probably clean out after about a week and a half.
You just check it when it's gone.
You got to add more. It's supposed to be in there for at least. I mean, this thing says that after 14 days you do another 50-gram dose. That's what the label says. That's not what you do. When it's gone, you add another dose, and it needs to be in there for at least probably 30 days. Probably at the minimum 21 days, because a brood cycle is 21 days.
And
You got to make sure you get all those mites.
You would check it after 2 weeks, or?
Yeah, I would check it after 10 days and add like another dose. This says to do 2 50-gram doses. What I recommend is 3 33-gram doses. That way it's in there longer, and it won't kill the brood as bad because you're not overdosing them. What will happen is see how the bees are getting away from it because it's irritating them? They're kind of getting away. So that also happens below it because the fumes are sinking down. So there will be this little thing below it where all the brood is dead because the bees kind of shy away from it. And it's sad to see, but at the same time, it's better than having crawlers coming out of the hive.
What are your thoughts on the drone comb?
The drone comb, I'll show you drone comb. That's actually, see this one that's painted blue? That's a whole frame of drone comb right there. I manage the drone comb. That's another good way to kill the mice, especially if you're at the hobbyist level. And we'll show you that. I just got to find a hive that doesn't have so many bees in it.
So what you're saying is this is a cycle. This has to be 33.
Right here were queen cells that I was using to requeen this hive. I had tin foil wrapped around them so that I could actually make the hive superseed. Superseding is what happens when the hive gets rid of its old queen with a new queen, while the old queen is still there. Yeah, they oust her. And so in this case, I raised queen cells from my VSH breeder queen, and I put them in here and I protected them with tin foil around them, so the old queen would not go over there and chew through the side, because that's their behavior. The old queen will chew through the side and kill a queen before it emerges from its cocoon.
That's what I would do.
So if you can prevent that, though, yeah, I know. So as soon as you prevent that, though, and the virgin queen comes out, she's free to roam, and eventually she will do several things. She might just die. Who knows? Sometimes they get damaged while they're in the queen cell. Maybe I shook them up too bad when I moved them from the breeder to this. or they will just kind of live under the radar for a few weeks and show off. This is all stored honey.
Wow.
This is mostly old honey, so I didn't take it off. This is probably honey from either last year or even 2 years ago. So they just kind of crawl around. Anybody want to hold it? You hold them from the ears right here, and when you want to look at it, you just go up like that.
Yeah.
And then if you get stung, just don't drop it. Because then you have these that you'll step on because they'll be all over the ground.
Wow.
So it's pretty heavy because it's full of honey. It weighs like probably 5 pounds.
Beautiful.
And so, so the beehives, they start out, there's honey on the outside, and the queen is in the middle.
Okay.
You hope. 99% of the time.
all your hives?
No, I never use queen excluder.
Not even when you're making honey?
No.
I'd like to.
And what's the reason for not using
Well, they cost a lot of money, for one thing. And then for another thing, they're a waste of time. But, well, at least for me, they kind of act more like honey excluders. Because you put it right here, and then you have honey scoopers up there. I wish I saw some hives with honey scoopers on, but I took it off last week.
What is that again?
A queen excluder is a little, I think I have one around
Is it
here.
to do your separation of, say, getting propolis pure, getting royal jelly pure, and getting honey pure?
Well, in order to produce propolis, you have a little screen that sits on top, and they fill it up with propolis.
Oh, they do.
In order to get royal jelly, you have you have like a sweatshop full of workers who sit there with little syringes and pull royal jelly out of the cells. We don't do that in the United States.
Which is,
we do it in China, and that's where all the royal jelly
now
comes
show
from.
me again like, where you're seeing, say, a royal jelly section
I don't
would
see
be.
any right here. In order to do royal jelly, you have to raise queen cells. Because that's the only place there's enough royal jelly. All the bees sit in that white protein food, but it's not really royal jelly.
That's not.
If there's not enough of it anyway. We can pass this around if anybody wants it.
Do you describe this back in there?
Oh, people like it to make little pills and lotions and stuff out. Is that the honey one? So,
It said to do
what we'll do
that.
with this, I think, right now,
I don't know.
I'll just set it aside.
Yeah,
So we can continue to
No.
This looks like a pretty healthy hive. I'm happy. This hive looked really horrible until I did that queen soup procedure thing, and now it looks good. The queen was gone. I don't think it made any honey because it took that entire season to do the queen soup. Oh, this is eggs, so we have to go find the queen here. You can just maybe hold on to it or set it down like that and stuff. Just don't push too many bees. I bet the queen is on this frame.
I bet you're right.
That's the frame next to it. But when hives are this big, it's hard to find them. No, it's not. So they make these. See these little things?
Yeah.
It's a little queen cup. They could do a queen cell in there. But you just call it a big nothing.
Okay.
You just call those things like a big nothing. The bees do it. I don't know why. They just like to have those around. This is all larvae over here floating in brood food or royal jelly. That's like wax moth stuff. So it says maybe I put a yucky old frame in there and the bees cleaned it out. But I think that might be. But I'm going to get a slider board to go in the bottom, and we're going to find some mice.
Anybody else want to see the wax moth?
So see, on all my bottom boards, I made these, I designed them, and the slider just slides in like that. Now I'm going to get powdered sugar. We can sprinkle powdered sugar on the top, and it'll make the mice fall on it. So I have a bucket of it.
Might.
Powdered sugar makes the mice fall.
Small sugar for small, sticks to the
Right.
Just don't use the powdered sugar in baking after you use it.
I tried that one time, and I got so many ants, it was like, I'm never doing that again. And I've never had a tracheal mite problem anyway, so might as well not.
That's just Costco powdered sugar.
Yeah.
Okay.
Back in the olden days, like 2 years ago, I thought that maybe I could put enough powdered sugar on them to kill all the mice, but you can't. It's a good way to see if you have mites, but it's not a good way to count on actually killing them.
Now there's starch in the
Yes, but I mean there's so little. There's so little, it's not going to hurt them. It's only if you're feeding them like
and
something.
this is a mite check process.
Yeah.
Okay.
If you have screen bottom boards, it's really easy to do this.
Okay.
A bunch of sugar-coated beans.
Maybe like 2 cups. I don't know.
And then do they clean themselves off?
Yeah, see how it's coating them?
Yeah.
So it makes them clean themselves off, and they groom, and it pulls the mice off too.
Okay.
They don't normally
You got one trying to get clean on your
Yeah.
It's all bad and
Yeah, see, so this is another reason why I don't do this, because it's such a ridiculous mess. And then,
we have
I don't even know why. I'll deal with that later. See, now what's going to happen is I'm going to have tons of ants come. But anyway, you just brush it down.
Okay.
You don't have any ant problems, it looks like, on either side.
Not here. It's not so bad. I haven't seen very many ants this year. I think it might be the Nosema killing the ants. I don't know.
They're all over at my house.
Yeah, so maybe not. I've had ants really bad last year.
We have the red ones. They're just tons of them.
But did they hurt the bees?
You said no.
I don't think so.
They don't seem to bother. We have a bee population.
It's these little tiny black ones that we have on the coast.
They're all white.
Oh man, all these white bees are out here.
So I think we'll just give this hive like 10 minutes or something.
Okay.
And it'll give it time for the mice to fall off.
And for them to calm down.
And actually, I'm going to take a picture of this while I'm doing it. They're out flying. I just want to cluster.
Everybody's home.
Yeah.
Wow, that's impressive. It's really nice to see them like this because I'm a novice and now I know what it looks like.
Yeah, this is what they should look like. There should be bees all over the top when you open the lid.
Okay.
And the more you see, the healthier it is.
Even when they're out. Even when it's a great sunny
Yeah,
day.
on a sunny day, there should be a lot of bees. See,
Those look different.
they're different color.
Yeah, I don't know.
Or this frame is different.
Oh, maybe.
This frame, look, they have a little bit of a honey
Starting
flow
to
on.
dry.
See, there's some honey in here. So they have a slight honey flow on, and they're starting to draw out foundation. So you can just see, that's what nectar looks like.
Okay.
So let's go straight for my blue frame here.
Okay.
Oh,
So this is all drone brew. Yeah.
Wow.
wow, that was healthy.
So if I was going to kill the mites in this, I would just have a bucket here and I just scrape all this drone brood out. So when the drone brood looks like this, who was it that was wanting to do drone brood? So that's what it should look like. And that's how you control a lot of mites. And if you have a huge number of mites in your hive, there are actually mites on the outside of these. You can see them crawling around.
Now, do you just cut all the drone stuff out, drop it in the bucket?
What?
And you just cut all that?
Yeah, so I would just take my hive tool, and I should have brought a bucket so I could show you, but it just pops right off. You just go like that.
Yeah.
And it goes in the
stick that
bucket.
Back in, and
Mhm.
they'll draw out the whole foundation. Too?
Yeah, stick it back in empty, and they'll draw a new sheet of drone brood within a couple of days.
Okay.
Well, the top part
And
is
you
it's
said there
not
were some
drone,
mice
it's
crawling
honey.
around on there?
I don't see any on this one. Yeah, so the top part of these frames, these are specially designed because the bees like to put honey at the top.
Oh, okay.
So I give them like 3 inches to put honey or whatever.
And there's
That way I'm not
foundation
scraping
there?
off a bunch of honey every time I want to take out the drone brood. So this is just part of another frame that's just stapled on. Yeah, it's pretty easy to make. And this is how you can do drone brood. So I could have, if there's a bunch of mites in the worker brood here, here's a great. This is just great. This is really great here. Look at this. I really like this. See, this is all capped worker brood. Oops. Okay, so.
Okay.
Starting to get mad.
So this is a beautiful frame of worker brood. Everything is perfect. It's the whole thing is full.
Okay. So, Jeremy, the hives
I might have you hold this while I take a picture.
we got from you are going to have a frame.
That somebody?
Uh-oh.
I gotta take pictures of myself.
And why are we looking at this one over here?
You just hold this one back.
Honey
Little bit,
nectar
little
and
drop
a-
on it.
You want to put it on the edge, and you just kind of pull it out, get out of the way, then you got room to work with all the other ones.
Okay, okay.
And stick it in last.
That was when you put it
Well,
in.
this is already so.
Oh, I'm sorry. What did I do?
Late August.
So that's your management without chemicals. Once
Yeah.
a month, go out and get rid of your drones.
Yeah, get rid of the drone brood.
Okay.
And that's year round?
No, it's through the spring. It starts in January, starts in winter, and goes through the spring. So I'll probably stop at the beginning of August. Maybe mid-August, they won't raise any more drone brood because they don't have enough nutrition anymore. They raise drone brood if they have enough nutrition. When they run out of nutrition, they'll stop doing the drone brood.
And is this just yearly maintenance you do?
Yep,
Yep.
monthly maintenance.
Months, I know, but for every year you do it.
Actually, this goes as the 4th frame in, too, by the way.
Because
This, I think, is the middle.
Why do you make it the fourth one?
Yeah, the 4th frame works the best. It'll also work as the 3rd frame. If you do it right in the middle, they'll do worker brood usually. If you do it as the 2nd frame, they'll do honey. Okay, so the 4th frame is the best bet.
And this is all in your book.
Yeah, it's in the book, and it's also on that guy's website, Randy Oliver, scientificbeekeeping.com. He has it all figured out. He has pictures, he has articles. He did little graphs about how well it works. He's a really smart guy. He's a good guy. I bought honey from him before.
Are there any online groups of amateur beekeeping?
Yeah.
You can go and post questions?
Yeah, there's like a Yahoo group. There's there's one that's not so much for hobbyists, but you can learn a lot by reading it. It's called BL, and it's a listserv. If you just Google B-L, B-E-E-L, you can get on the emailing list. They talk about every topic of beekeeping, and you can learn a lot by reading it. It's mostly commercial beekeepers talking, or like large, or very interested hobbyists, not just the weekend hobbyists, people who are like really into it. Here's the powdered sugar bee that's going in the wrong hive. Here.
They won't kill it?
No, because it's going to have powdered sugar, so I'll just lick it. No, not really. This year I was actually overwhelmed. I had way too much to do this year. Normally I can do it all myself, though.
Like have a baby?
Yeah, I had a baby this year. Like 6 weeks ago. So,
Well, you're just starting to get your sleep back, huh?
yeah, it's getting crazy. Yeah.
25 years.
It takes a long time to get it.
Yeah. Well, I'm only 25, so I figure I'm getting it out of the way sooner so I can have more sleep later. I don't know. So these are just empty frames. They can be removed. It's just foundation. And that's just an empty frame. So you just take the bees off. And then I'll probably put the feeder on this side so that I don't have to like bend way over there to deal with it. I could probably... actually, maybe I'll just take out these two and put them there.
So I got my bees a month ago, and now I'm going to open it up, take them off, stop feeding them?
Yeah, maybe just open it up and see how it's doing, see if there's... Make sure there's eggs and brood.
So that's all honey and there's...
Yeah, so it's just an old frame of honey. It's probably from last year. This is fresh honey. See, this is drone brood here, but they have honey in there instead of drone brood. It's a drone-sized frame. They're bigger. But so if they ran out of honey, they might lay. The queen might go over there and raise a bunch of drones right there. And the beekeeper would never know if you're not checking your hives. Right? You could be just raising cycle after cycle of mites and drone brood if you have a bunch of this.
Do they eat old honey?
Yeah.
They will kick those drones out in the winter, won't they?
Yeah, they eliminate the drones usually in October.
Yeah, it's that exclusive girl club thing when the winter time comes.
Yeah, because the drones are just wasting resources, kind of. Because there's not going to be any queens mating in the winter, although they can. So there's more brood. Yeah, just getting capped over. Maybe extra small where we can definitely find her. No, I don't think we're going to find it in this hive. We'll just feed this one, then we'll find the queen in the other hive. I just have to make room here.
So when you're moving those frames over towards yourself, you're not squishing any bees in there because the
Not a whole lot because these little things are
safe there.
and this is nothing at all. It just gets like this when you have so many hives that you can't scrape it out routinely, you know. And also the bees are doing a lot of propolis right now, so this is actually worse than it was a couple weeks ago because there's kind of a lull right now. The bees don't have anything else to do, so they're bringing propolis in. I got a really good picture of a bee that had propolis attached on its pollen baskets on its legs. You don't see that very often. I got a good picture of it. Propolis is supposed to be good for them. It's a hassle for the beekeeper, but it's supposed to be like antibacterial for the beehive.
Now they're happy.
You're really not so much. They're being pretty safe.
Now there's room for a feeder.
They're getting them back.
I think so.
So, the feeder will fit in, I got one front.
I took out two right there, but sometimes they fit if you take out one. It looks like in this one, in this one there's not quite enough room for another frame. So these are those little in-hive feeders I was talking about. Very handy.
Well, that's something else we really need.
Yeah, you can order them from that date ant place.
And you just
They're
stick
like $2.
some wax in there and that floats in there.
Yeah, I don't really have any wax on this one, so maybe I'll put this on the ground.
Okay.
So the idea is to give them something they can get out.
Yeah, they just have something to crawl around on, because they have to go way down there, because it's going to get lower and lower as they consume it.
Sticks?
Yeah, sticks are good. Grass is good. Honeycomb is the best. It's the best is this hive had a bunch of honeycomb that I scraped out and put it in. I don't mix honeycomb out of this hive with honeycomb from this hive, unless I'm actually moving a friend. No, this is just as much sugar as I had, but I don't think it's too low.
Can you fill them up all the way?
Yeah, just fill it all the way.
Now, when you make it like a 5-gallon bucket like that, can you fill it like halfway with water and the rest with sugar? Or?
I start with sugar first. So I fill it like 3/4 the way with sugar, and then I put water in until it's full enough. So you have to stir it really good, or else you end up with a thick film of sugar on the bottom. It's almost impossible to mix in. It's just, I don't know what happens if it sticks together.
You just need to boil the water to make the sugar.
And all the pump attached to it. They just have a hose and fill each one with a hose. It's much easier.
How much is that cold?
I think a little under a gallon,
Okay.
like 3/4 gallon or something. But pretty much, if there was something wrong here and I just wanted to make sure the hive kept eating sugar, I'd just maybe fill it once a week.
And right now, let's see, you said when you go on a lighter dilution, you get more honey production. When you go on a thicker production,
Yeah.
honey.
Yeah, so if you're doing it lighter, there's more water in there versus sugar.
Right.
And when the bees make the honey, you don't really want to be eating honey from sugar in the business.
Correct.
You can't.
Correct. Yeah.
It doesn't taste good. But it makes the bees have to find a lot of space in their hive because they have to actually lay all that sugar syrup out, and they have to evaporate the water out of it, and that takes a lot of surface area. So if you're using very light sugar syrup, they'll have to fill this whole thing up with very thin syrup, and they'll have to sit there and fan it for a long time. So that forces them to draw this whole thing out with wax. So it's good, you got the whole thing drawn out, you don't have to worry about that anymore. But it's bad in the sense that they're wasting their time doing that if you really just wanted to medicate them. If you really just wanted them to get healthier.
Yes. Okay.
So it depends on what your objective is.
Okay.
Does that make sense? Yeah. Maybe it doesn't have one though. So
Because she's not leaving, right?
these are like my problem hives.
These are the smaller hives?
Yeah, this is like a... Oh, this has a queen. I see brood. So we just have to find her. Oops. Why do you have the newspaper in the front? Well, since it was so small, and this is one of the ones that was for sale. Oops.
This is one of the ones for sale.
I was plugging up the entrance.
Oh, you want to keep
It's to keep robber bees out.
put a sign up.
Yeah.
No bee trespassing.
No
robbery. No robbery.
Do not put...
Mhm. Put a second one for it, and then you have another one, and a second one for it.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
You got queen on that.
And what? Oh, it doesn't. This is
I think that
drone,
just might
huh?
be a paralysis. Acute bee paralysis.
I just got bit under my nail.
Sorry.
This hive is acting so weird. See how they're all bunching up right here? It makes it hard to find a queen bee in a hive like this.
And you're saying they're acting weird?
Well, see how they're just all agitated like that?
Well, there's nothing inappropriate.
It makes it no fun to examine a hive. Well, they still respond though, even if there's just a smell of smoke. So it doesn't matter if the smoke is lit or not. This hive is just...
Why is the top gray and the side kind of...
Because that was the paint that I had. Like $5 for 5 gallons.
Okay.
This one?
Something got on this stuff.
Yeah,
What is this thing right
Kind
here?
of hiding.
This,
Everyone was over
It's like
there.
a cicada or something. I don't know what that is. I don't know if we're going to find a queen because there's no sun out, but there's plenty of queens like on the internet, pictures. See, look how agitated this is. How I don't know how I can examine this without doing sun. Well, I know a hive where I can find it. I can find it in one of my small hives. This frame was full of honey and they're consuming it. So you can tell that they're they're running out, so they're consuming the honey. They're uncapping.
Okay.
How do you know?
See how it's kind of like crumbles, little crumbles here? That means they're eating it.
Oh.
You can pass it around if you want.
So then you get your head?
Yeah, well, or something.
What is that thing there?
No, there wouldn't be
That
a
would be a
queen
drone.
on this. Yeah, it's just, that was just ancient thing. Queen might be on this one. I don't know. Maybe the queen died in this size. I don't know.
And Jeremy, why did you make it so high?
I might have just caught it as a swarm.
Okay.
So we have to replace the queen every year, is that correct?
Yeah. You should consider
He was
making the
saying.
attempt anyway.
And that means buying
Yeah, you probably have to buy one. And I'm not sure what the best way for the hobbyist level to do that. It's kind of hard to buy one.
and it's like $100 or something.
No, for a regular one, it's like $20.
Yeah, 25.
So we should all call
maybe
you.
you know where to
at
go.
the-
I haven't looked at a couple places. There's a lot of places up in the Washington area that are on